Hi and welcome back to another Pika Education video. Today we're doing a past paper walkthrough of the topic Algebraic Fractions from 2020 to 2022. Remember to like and subscribe. I'm Pikachu and let's go. For the 2020 set, there's only one question about algebraic fractions as the summer ones were cancelled. This is question 12A in November, the third higher paper. Without further ado, let's go. For this question, we'll have to express the sum of these two fractions as a single fraction in the simplest form. So how do we do this? Well, firstly, we're going to have to find the common denominator. The easiest way for us to do this is to just multiply the denominators together. So we're going to have x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 4 for the denominator. So what do we put for the numerator? We're going to use something called the butterfly method. What we're going to do with this method, we're going to choose a numerator, in which I'm going to choose x because it's the first one, and I'm going to multiply it by the other denominator, which is x minus 4. And I'm going to do the same for 2x. We're going to multiply it by x plus 2. So this will be after our first step. Our next step is to expand it, the numerator. So we're going to have x squared minus 4x from the x times x minus 4 bit, and plus 2x squared plus 4x for the 2-bit. And we're going to divide it by, you guessed it, the one we had from the start. Next, we're going to collect the like terms to only get 3x squared for our numerator because the 4x's cancel each other out. And we're just going to put x plus 2x minus 4 for our denominator. And that is the final answer for this question. On to next. There are actually no dedicated questions in the 2021 set about this topic. So let's go to 2022. For 2022, there's actually 2 of them. Both of them are in the non-calc paper and they are both question 19. Just one of them is in June and one in November. So let's start with the one in June. We have to solve this equation and give our answer in the form p add or minus square root of q all over 2, where p and q are both integers. So let's start by doing what we did for our first question, and that is getting a common denominator. To get our common denominator, it's again simply just our denominators multiplied together. Let's see if you remember what we do for a numerator. If you said use the butterfly or the crisscross method, you'll be correct. We're going to do 1 multiplied by x minus 1. And we're going to add it by 3 multiplied by 2x minus 1. And that is equal to 1. So we're going to expand both the numerator and denominator next. For the numerator, it's a very simple one. It's just x minus 1 plus 6x minus 3. And our denominator, it will be a quadratic. It will be 2x squared. So we have minus x here and minus 2x to make minus 3x. And minus 1 makes positive 1 because 2 negative makes a positive. And that's it's equal to 1. We're going to multiply this whole equation over here. And we're going to get 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 is equal to x minus 1 plus 6x minus 3. Now we're going to group them together to get 7x, because x and 6x, minus 4, because these two will be equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 1, as we've said earlier. Now we're going to move our linear equation to the quadratic. And we're going to get 2x squared minus 10x, because, well, positive becomes negative, and plus 5. Now we are going to make this equal 0. And now there are two methods to do this. Method 1, we're going to use the quadratic formula. And method 2, we're going to use completing the square. So let's write our equation again, and I will teach you how to use both of these methods. For method 1, we're going to plug in our numbers. Negative b, add or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and that's equal to x. Now that we got this, we're going to get everything done. So we're going to get 10, add or minus 100 minus 40, because this makes 10 times 4 is 40. So we're going to get 60 over 4. So what if I told you root 60 can be expressed as 2 root something? That's true, because root 60 is actually equal to root 4 root 15, which means it's root 2 root 15, which means it's 2 root 15. So we're going to get rid of 2 for all of our terms, and we're going to be left with 5 at or minus 15 over 2. That's going to be 4 marks. For those of you who want to try completing the square, pause right here, and we'll get started right now in 3, 2, 1. So the formula, I'm just going to plug it in straight away. Because our a is greater than 1, we have to put it outside. Then we're going to put x minus half of this squared, and then minus half of the b again, this one, squared again. And then we're going to add it by 5, because that's our constant term. Next, what we're going to do, we can just put it as 25 over 4. And then we're going to add it by 5, and that's going to be equal to 0. We're going to put 5 over 2 squared, and then x minus here, like before. So we're going to get 2 out, and we're going to give it to every term on the left. Next, we're going to move this, because 5 is equal to 10 over 2. This part's going to be 15 over 2. Now it's just a simple find the x. So we're going to move 2 over there and square root it to get add or minus 15 over 4, because we are using a square root. So it has to be a power. So it has to be positive or negative. That's equal to x minus 5 over 2. So our last part is to just x minus 5 add or minus root 15 all over 2, because root 4, as we know, can be simplified to 2, and we're moving the minus 5 over 2 to the other side. And that's another final answer for 4 marks. And we're going to have one more question left, which is the November. For our last question, we have to solve another equation and give our answer in the form a add or minus b square root of 2, where a and b are both fractions. So we're going to do the same thing and find the common denominator by multiplying our two denominators. Now, it's a bit more different for the numerators because we have a subtraction. However, we are still using the butterfly method. And then we're going to multiply it like so. Minus 1 multiplied by x. Now, the order is actually very important here. And that's equal to 4. Let's just expand both of these very simple equations. We're going to have this. We're going to move our x squared plus x and our plus 1 over here. So we're going to get 4x squared plus x. But because, well, we have a 4, it's going to be 4x minus 1. Because, well, we have to multiply this and we're going to have 0 here. Again, I'm going to tell you about both of our methods. First one is the quadratic formula, of course. So I have told you. So let's do that really quick. We have a as 4, b as 4 as well, and c as negative 1. So we're going to have negative 4, add or minus square root of 4 squared minus 4 times 4 times 1. And we're going to have all over 2 multiplied by 4. That's equal to x. So x is equal to negative 4, add or minus 16, well, 16 times 16 minus 16 times negative 1, so that's going to be 16 plus 16, so positive 32, all over 8. Since we have to make it in the form a add or minus b square root of 2, we're going to have to make these guys separate. So we're going to have negative 4 over 8 add or minus root 32 over 8. However, we have to make the b. So we can simplify this part. And then to make the b, you can clearly see 32 is 16 times 2. Because so we're going to have 4 root 2 over 8, or 1 1/2 square root 2, which puts us in the form of a add or minus b square root of 2. So that would earn us 5 marks. So for our second method, we can use completing the square. So we can quickly put our equation that we got previously, 4x squared plus 4x minus 1 equals 0. To put it in the form, we easily can do it. We just have to put the 4 outside, because, well, we have to get it out. And then we're going to have x plus 1/2 squared, because after we put it in the formula like so, we have to realize this one, the leading coefficient of x is 1, so we have to half it and square it, so it's going to be 1/4 now. So, and then after that, we're going to do minus 1/2 squared minus 1 equals 0. So this will be our completing the square formula. Next, we're going to square negative 1/2. So we're going to have minus 1/4 minus 1. Then we're going to have our usual for the front as shown. Our next step now is to multiply this by 4. So we're going to have this separately. Then we're going to have minus 1 makes minus 2. Add it over there and put the over 4. So we're going to have x plus 1/2 squared left. This one, well, we can simplify this to 1/2. And we're going to square root it. obviously our square root needs to have the add or minus sign. So we're just going to have this part and then x plus a half. We throw it over there, so we're going to have negative a half, add or minus square root of a half. Because the square root of 1 is just 1, so we can just technically get this out. We're going to have a half square root of 2. Why? Because if we put this back up here, we can simplify square root of 2 over 2. Because this is just square root of 2 squared, we're going to be left with 1 over 2. So that will be it for this question. That's our final answer. That's 5 marks. Thank you. And thank you for watching this video. It really means a lot to me if you made it to the end. I hope you like and subscribe and check out my other videos. I'll see you in the next one.